Sri Adi Shankaracharya's Atma Bodha. I am composing the Atma Bodha, the knowledge of the self, for those who have purified themselves by austerities and are peaceful in heart and calm, who are free from cravings and are desirous of liberation. Just as fire is the direct cause for cooking, so also without knowledge, no emancipation can be had. Compared with all other forms of discipline, knowledge of the self is the one direct means for liberation. Action cannot destroy ignorance, for it is not in conflict with or opposed to ignorance. Knowledge does destroy ignorance as light destroys deep darkness. The soul appears to be finite because of ignorance. When ignorance is destroyed, the self, which does not admit of any multiplicity, truly reveals itself by itself, like the sun when the clouds pass away. Constant practice of knowledge purifies the self, the Jivatman, stained by ignorance, and then disappears itself, just like the powder of the Kataka nut that settles down after it has cleansed the muddy water. The world, which is full of attachments, aversions, etc., is like a dream. It appears to be real as long as it continues, but appears to be unreal when one is awake, that is, when true wisdom dawns. The world appears to be real so long as Brahman, the substratum, the basis of all this creation, is not realized. It is like the illusion of silver in the mother of pearl. Like bubbles in the water, the worlds rise, exist, and dissolve in the Supreme Self, which is the material cause and the prop of everything. All the manifested world of things and beings are projected by imagination upon the substratum, which is the eternal, all-pervading Vishnu, whose nature is existence, intelligence, just like the different ornaments are all made out of the same gold. The all-pervading space appears to be diverse on account of its association with various conditionings which are different from each other. Space becomes one on the destruction of these limiting conditionings. So also, the omnipresent truth appears to be diverse on account of its association with the various conditionings and becomes one on the destruction of these conditionings. Because of its association with different conditionings, such ideas as caste, color, and position are superimposed upon the Atman, as flavor, color, and so on are superimposed on water. Determined for each individual by his own past actions and made up of the 5 elements that have gone through the process of a 5-fold self-division and mutual combination, the body, the medium through which pleasure and pain are experienced, the tent of experiences, is born. So it is said. The 5 pranas, life forces, the 10 organs, and the manas, the mind, and the buddhi, the intellect, formed from the tanmatras, the rudimentary elements, before panchikarana, their 5-fold division and mutual combination with one another, these form the subtle body, the instruments of experience of the individual. Avidya, ignorance, which is indescribable and beginningless, is the causal body. Know for certain that the Atman, the Self, is other than these three conditioning bodies. In its identification with the five coverings, the immaculate Atman, the Self, appears to have borrowed their qualities upon itself, as in the case of a crystal which appears to gather unto itself the color of its vicinity, like blue cloth and so on. Through discriminating self-analysis and logical thinking, one should separate the pure self within from the coverings, as one separates the rice from the husk, bran, and so on that are covering it. The Atman, the Self, does not shine in everything, although he is all-pervading. He is manifest only in the inner equipment, buddhi, the intellect, just as the reflection on a clean mirror. One should understand that the Atman, the Self, is always like the king, distinct from the body, the senses, mind, and intellect, all of which constitute matter, and that he is the witness of their functions. The moon appears to be running when the clouds move in the sky. Likewise, to the non-discriminating person, the Atman, the Self, appears to be active when it is observed through the functions of the sense organs. Depending upon the energy or vitality of consciousness, the body, senses, mind, and intellect engage themselves in their respective activities, just as men work depending upon the light of the sun.